in democracy. True change reflects in the transformation of the living standard of the people.
Look at this pattern. Now nobody comes. So please take my
just like a conduit pipe right from
the changing narrative also reflects on who brings home the true dividends of democracy.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, the matter is on the also notes that apart from there is a great threat to national unity.
The character matters.
Not minded that we have their mandates. Now we have
dubbed Mr. Project, the member representing Arotuku Ohafia Federal Constituency, Honorable Nkole, has a direct and special touch with the people, redefining quality and purpose-driven representation.
I'm from Gozo State, Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I want to commend
the Midas Touch. The Midas Touch on Flow FM anchors on the project and activities of the people's lawmaker, Right Honorable Nkole, and his social contract with the Arotuku and Ohafia Federal Constituents. Midas Touch, exclusive on Flow 94.9 FM every Friday by 11 a.m. Midas Touch, in touch with the people.
A very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Chama. How is Abia?
Abia is great. How is Abuja?
Abuja is fine. The weather is calm. It's sunny today.
Oh, it's raining in the city of Umahia today.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of showers of blessings.
Yes,
it
is. It is. It is. And speaking of rain, speaking of water, we are going to be starting with the water project on the home front this morning. Now, we are going to look at some water projects that you have embarked on. And, sir, at some point on this program, you highlighted how difficult it is for Ohafia residents to get potable water. Yes, so
that's correct. Yeah.
Yes. So looking at the Akano Ohafia water scheme by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources, what is the capacity of this particular project?
Thank you, Chama. Akano Ohafia water scheme briefly was commissioned in 1986 by the then military administrator of the old state. And it's a regional water scheme that is expected to deliver about 400 capacity liters of water to Ohafia and environment.
Okay.
When the water was commissioned in 1986 and after the creation of Abia State from Imo, from the then, the responsibility now the new state which was horrible. It wasn't serving that purpose. Now, during my first tenure, I did have a town hall meeting, just a master plan, where I asked the relevant stakeholders comprising of the major groups of the respective communities, the President General, the youth, the women, to make representation so that we can capture them, serialize them in line with the needs and according to order of preference.
Okay.
The scale of preference, so that we proceed. Now, I did recall that that particular water scheme, the President General of Akano and the Development Union and the traditional ruler is a product. It's not, and the house is a project that within the confines of my constituency project, available fund that is allocated cannot carry book line and finger.
Okay.
What it is, so we had to write and seek for alternative funding means through the relevant Ministry of Water Resources. And graciously, they went through all the bureaucratic processes and was awarded. And the cost to rehabilitate that water is put about 800 million naira. The first 500 million naira, which is the first phase, has been awarded at in 2021 and ensured the continuity in making sure that the extra 200 million was captured in 2021 appropriation, which is under implementation now. So that is why that project has been seriously under investigation and under construction.
Okay.
The application, I think, the final step. Now, the highly pumped, the new wells, the overhead tank, the surface tank, the quarters for the staff that will be responsible to man the operation of the water scheme. All of them, all those things have been rehabilitated, including asphalt road and about 13 kilometer reticulation with solar powered lights, which is part of the community incentive to ensure that the roads are lit for security of the underground facilities that are expected to carry the water to the home. So when it is completed in the first phase, it's expected to keep water within 13 kilometer reticulation. And Agano Hafia is one of the largest villages in Hafia, and then also in Aruchiku, Hafia. And they are so challenged with potable water, likewise most of the communities in Hafia. So when that is expected, what is expected is that by the end of this day or next year, the water will come on stream. The registration will be completed, the representation will be completed, and they have a new lease of life. While working on other water projects that I have initiated around Hafia in making sure that the problem of potable water is ameliorated and within this time frame.
All right, that's amazing. But what about the solar-powered reticulation at Abam? To what extent will it get to the people? Like, where will this reach? How far will this particular solar-powered reticulation get to at Abam?
The reticulation is a mini water scheme, precisely to solve the water needs of Nkole Abam. Nkole Abam is a community that is also challenged in Abam with water. I recall in 2016, I did bring partners from Singapore, High Flux, and they did the analysis to say that getting water was a big challenge. That gave birth to the Abam water scheme that I'm actually trying to put in place in Ozuabam.
All right.
Whereby water will be taken, treated and reticulated straight to Nkole Abam and also to other Abam communities in phases. That project I commenced in 2017, 2016-2017 appropriation, and the structures on ground, the intake and the other supporting structural facilities that will house the water scheme itself on ground at the Gozu Abam. Now the next phase is the point we to build the surface tank, which is in 2021 appropriation, and I'm sure from the information I got from the implementing agency, which is Anambra River Basin, which is also a parastatal under Federal Ministry of Works, Federal Ministry of Water Resources.
Okay.
They have gone there to take the appropriate measurements to prepare their paper for procurement in this 2021 budget. So we hope to see that with the available funds, you should also be able to build a surface tank, whether the intake tank or the discharge tank, whatever the money that is released, whatever thing it can carry, they will do that. So it's for them to determine, and not for me. But mine is to make sure that they reappear on site. And this is a project that is a phased project. It's not a one-off project because it requires capital funding to do that. So that is what is to that. So for that particular solar water scheme is just to serve the Nkole.
Okay, just that community.
Actually, that community, yes, just for that particular community, and that community, as we speak, is benefiting from that water scheme, waiting for the long-term. This thing that will definitely cut across every community. That is the plan for that.
Okay. All right. Away from that, there is the COVID-19 ancillary for Abia North, and then the water borehole project. Please, can you tell us more about that?
It's a project that is an initiative. It's a COVID intervention project of the Danjuma Foundation.
Okay.
Atiwa Danjuma Foundation, and there are three of those schemes in Abia State. One is that according to the senatorial zones, they are trained in the senatorial zones of Abia State. One is in Abia South, one is in Abia Central, and the one further north is what attracted to Abam High School. So it's a project that to support efforts of the government, to cushion or in the management of the spread of COVID-19, and is situated at Abam High. So the project is on ground and being put into use for both the students and the neighborhood. It also provides a mechanical side where people can wash their hands without touching surfaces with their hands, to minimize contact with the equipment. So it is strategically located in a school, one of the biggest secondary schools in Abba, which is Abba High School. So for strategic reason that is situated there, because the school brings in people together from almost all the villages that make up Abba High School, and also the water itself, serves the neighborhood.
So it basically serves the school and the neighboring communities.
The neighborhood, yes, the neighborhood, the surrounding development.
All right.
That is for that project.
Okay. All right.
There are other projects at Delu and Hafia.
All right.
The highly pump has been installed at Delu and Hafia. The issue why the water is not working now is that because the water has stopped functioning for a very long time, owing to that, and those facilities are underground facilities. The pipes must have been blocked by all manners of things because of the abandonment. Now, to avoid a backlash,
all right,
where you pump water, it doesn't get to the tank that now returns to the village. If there is a backlash, it can come and affect the high lift pump that was installed. I installed that high lift pump that I started to further meter water resource of the number of the development agency. That was in 2016, 2017, including transmission of the power pack that supplies energy that powers the high lift pump. So the issue we're having the reticulation, and I believe as time goes on, will also captured in the budget so that the respective agencies will definitely award the contract and the pipe and the take the water
will be cleaned.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. And now let's move away from the projects and look at some state matters. It's actually raining season. It's raining in Omar here right now, and we're in the season of rains. But then there's one issue that is making the rounds, and it's the quality of the intervention by the state government in Aba, especially with flooding and heavy rains. Do you think that the governor, Okezie Ikpeazu, is getting Aba fixed?
The governor, first of all, I want to commend his effort in infrastructural development in Abia State. I did say in my last, was in another forum.
All right.
The governor has delivered over 120 roads under 68, and also 54 roads at various levels of completion. Now, these roads and not roads that were existent before his administration. Neither were these roads built up to start new one. These are very, very brown and it must be commended. And these are roads I'm sure that their lifespan is not anything less than 20 years. Also, bringing innovation, the cement technology is also key, is also germane. Because if you don't factor in geotechnical issues or whatever thing you are doing, especially when it comes to roads, now we are talking about flooding. Those things are issues that must be factored in. And once all these things are done, now you come out with the best idea, with the best solution that will over time solve those infrastructural gaps. So the deficit has been existing before his administration. So now today, he has done so and is also doing so. So I want to commend him in that effort and also to say that he should continue in that way. Now, narrowing down to Aba. Aba is a commercial hub of West Africa, if not, but it's one of the commercial hubs in West Africa. And we're talking about funds. We're talking about IGR. Aba is a big market where if things are done in the way that's supposed to be, especially infrastructure, definitely no investor will want to come to a place where you can't have access to both to the goods and also the persons coming to buy those items. So it makes it imperative that fixing Aba is very, very key. Because I believe if you make Aba right, you have made Abia right.
Oh, yes.
If you generate enough funds, definitely things will flow. So his effort in Aba is key. The perennial water flooding issue, yes, because of the weather change, the issues of climate change. You see, a lot of things that don't happen. We have extremities of everything, extremities of weather. The intensity of rainfall is, if you check precision in the millimeters, it has doubled, it has tripled, not just in Abia. If you watch NAMA, if you're a regular flow of NAMA's prediction, you find out that even the latest prediction that Abia is part of the states that will be experiencing heavy rainfall. And what is the meaning of heavy rainfall? Heavy rainfall is equals to flooding. And human activities. These days, the runoffs from surfaces, from rooftops, are increasing because there are more activities in construction, housing, because of the house to bridge the housing needs. All those also has its own attendant consequences on the environment, especially when it comes to what we are talking about.
Yeah.
So his effort, the Ndegro water flood control, all those things, the Oifobara water scheme, those things are innovation. Those things are engineering solutions to those problems. And if those facilities were on ground before, you should either be talking about expanding them or building a new one. But in absence, you met notice and you fold your arms, not doing anything. I mean, you are not getting it right.
Yeah.
So to the fact that we are taking those steps, those initiatives to create one, to accommodate that is the very, very way to go. And that's key. Yes, I understand that people want things to be done very, very fast. But also when it comes about development, I'm a physical development planner. When it comes to physical development, it takes time and you must have a master plan for it to achieve. So the master plan to handle such issues when it comes to flooding has been laid. It is for us to see into the right key into it and pray that he succeeds in doing more and also expanding and bringing other frontiers. I can remember in 2017 when we went on the assessment tours of all the project sites. There were even areas where they had to reclaim the same commissioner for work, right on the Blaze Obane. They had to do a lot of removals, demolitions to reclaim, the drainage basin. So if you don't have adequate drainage basin, definitely, this action has said water must find its course. They must definitely find its course. So it is a way to say that his innovation will definitely will definitely yielded a positive impact in terms of flood control. Yet, we may not have gotten to where the something is being done in that direction. So I want to encourage him. I want to say that yes, he's on the right track, and he should continue in that direction.
All right. So with what you're saying, we as individuals in Abia State have also got a role to play.
Yes, because we have to change. You see, our attitude towards some of all these things also. When you block the drainage, drainage is the passageway for all these water. To get to the drainage basin. Let me give you an instance. Any road. Let me overview. Let me tell you how Aba is drained. You see that water side.
Yes.
Water side. That Aba water side, which is number here. It is expected to collect storm drain from that any road that from east and also towards Obo Hill. It finds its way down there. Now, and the only means those water can find their way to the drainage basin is only through the drainage. I mean the gutters. That's
the gutters.
Commonly put as gutters. And so, by the time you block the gutters, you don't dispose your refuse in your trash cans. And find a way for them to be evacuated. The solid waste. Definitely, once those drains are blocked, the water will overflow. Will not even change course to find their way down to that drainage basin at the water side. So, in doing that, you now see that even streets ordinarily or places ordinarily that have not witnessed flooding will definitely overflood. So that is why the attitude of also the residents is important, is key to this. So I want to say that it's not just about government will not do everything. There are responsibilities, we as citizens, should do by being disciplined in the disposal of our solid waste, to ensure that those drainages are not blocked. So it is part and parcel of our responsibility to do that. Even during sanitation, don't even wait for sanitation. Yes, you can every morning. The residents can come and distill the drainages, the gutters, to ensure that these waters find their way to those places. If that thing is not done, definitely, I'm not sure that we are doing ourselves any good. So our attitude towards waste management, especially disposal, is expected to change. So that is what I think we should all do. Not just in Aba, even in Omwa, even in our community, even in our villages. If you notice with this climate change, areas ordinarily that are not inundated are now being inundated regularly, even to a magnitude that if care is not taken, it might lead to some other things, God forbid. So our attitude towards that definitely
must change.
Is expected to change positively.
All right. Our attitude towards our environment must change positively. Now let's talk about the fact that the House is on recess, and this is an opportunity for members of the House, yourself included, to meet with your members of your constituency and check existing and ongoing projects. Is there a plan in the works for a town hall engagement with your constituents?
Yes, I like if you are listening to my opening speech, I did say that that is my own method of engaging with my constituents, where we draw a plan for implementation. I will not sit in Abuja and know what those communities want or they need. They may want water, and you're bringing, you're attracting roads to them. It makes no sense. It will make no meaning to them. So the only means, not just because we are research. We have I have activities. I have a consensus where I interact with them consistently and continually.
All right.
To do that. So I've been doing that. Is one of the tools, to reaching out. And also my lines are very, very open, to them, to reach out to them. Even yesterday, even this morning, I want to use this medium to inform Dinga, Ejeke, and Abojo Kagwe Road.
Okay.
There is something I need him for an urgent this thing concerning the contract, execution of the contract in this 2021 budget, Abojo Okagwe Abreba Road.
Okay.
The contract has also been awarded. So I need him to reach me at them, because he's listening to this program. I've tried to reach his number. His number is switched off. So I want to use this medium. Anybody that knows him, to ask him to reach me. I've also sent a text message to him.
Okay.
On that issue. So through phones, through my channels of communication are very very wide, and I utilize them wide and open. Not just about town hall meetings. I'm reachable at any particular point in time. I've never changed my phone number. This number I use is this communication network commenced. This is what I've been using, and I don't intend to change it, for any reason.
Okay. All right, it's Minders Touch and Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's State. We are having a conversation with Honorable Nkole, member representing Arochukwu-Ohafia Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives. Now we're moving on to national issues right now. There's still the ongoing strike. Resident doctors are still on strike. It looks like it's not ending soon. Though we pray it should end, because patients are really suffering in various public hospitals. What is your advice?
My advice has not changed. Like I've always said, the federal government should, as a matter of national importance, address the issues raised by the resident doctors. I was saddened also to hear that the Nigerian Medical Association, the NMA, also threatening to justify. So these are not things we should be talking about in this time of the only last week or so, we read on the paper, on the news, even on the social media, that most doctors want to migrate, to South Africa and
Dubai.
Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
To Saudi Arabia. I mean, why? It gives one impression that the masses are suffering. You can't access health and health facilities. You can't have one. Even when you go there, the doctors are not there to attend to your health needs. So I mean, it's very, very distinct. So I want to call on the relevant ministers to urgently address that it is not palatable. It is not palatable, and I want to say to the public, I sympathize with them, and for making every frantic effort to say that the matter is resolved. This is a matter that shouldn't be heard of, that doctors on strike. It shouldn't be heard of anywhere. It doesn't show us. It doesn't show the Federal Executive Council, that they are committed to the welfare of the citizens. Is a minor, and we will continue to speak on that and to say that something should be done urgently.
Okay. All right. Now, yesterday, President Muhammadu Buhari received the forensic audit report of the NDDC. And in that report, it showed that over 6 trillion naira was paid to the NDDC in 19 years for the development of Niger Delta. Are you surprised?
I won't be surprised, not just in NDDC. I want to say that I was reading through. I listened to submission from the Nigerian Customs. They said it's not in quote that they can't fight corruption because they have a bad, government. So what does it tell you? it tells you that all sectors of the federal agencies are in a very bad shape. It's just a line item, it's just a line agency out of the over 600 MDAs. So something drastic has to be done. So, and I'm sure, and I want to say that there are a lot of such reports that they are gathering up. Even the issue of the security we're talking about.
Yes.
Only 2 days back, the American ambassador said they are ready, they are willing to unmask the sponsors of all these security issues in Nigeria. What this information that keeps coming, what have the Federal Executive Council done with them? So it's not just my own text, it's not about the report that you wrote. It may be right, it may be wrong. It may be an exaggeration, but until thing into action that we cannot. So I want to say that they should go ahead and not just a report, that has been submitted. I want to see them to, implement that report. It's only in the implementation that I can speak to. I can rightly speak about that. So it's a welcome development, but also it shouldn't stop as one of those reports that are gathering dust on their shelves. I want to see action, so that we don't support anybody to any media trial or something, of that nature. So that is my take.
All right. Okay. It is Minders Touch on Flow 94.9 FM. We'll take a break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. Don't go anywhere.
In democracy, true change reflects in the transformation of the living standard of the people.
Look at this part of now nobody comes. So please take my
Just like a conduit pipe, right from
The changing narrative also reflects on who brings home the true dividends of democracy.
Speaker, honorable colleagues, the matter is on the also notes that apart from there is a great threat to national unity.
The character matters.
not minded that we have their mandates. Now we have
Dubbed Mr. Project, the member representing Arotuku Ohafia Federal Constituency, Honorable Uko Nkole, has a direct and special touch with the people, redefining quality and purpose-driven representation.
I'm from Gozo State, Abia State.
Mr. Speaker, I want to commend
The Midas Touch,
The Midas Touch
on Flow FM, anchors on the project and activities of the people's lawmaker, Right Honorable Uko Nkole, and his social contract with the Arotuku and Ohafia Federal Constituents. Midas Touch, exclusive on Flow 94.9 FM every Friday by 11 a.m. Midas Touch, in touch with the people.
Well, thank you for being there. We are having a conversation with Honorable Uko Nkole, the member representing Arotuku Ohafia Federal Constituency at the House of Representatives, on the program Minders Touch. We're heading on back to the conversation. We just talked about the reports that the president received as regards the NDDC. Now, going forward, sir, how can we get the NDDC more responsive to developmental issues in the Niger Delta?
You see, until there has been, it takes us back to the clamor to restructure this country. The answer to all these things is restructuring. I don't see any reason why I would pay my tax. Someone in the east will drink beer. You would destroy beer in another state. Then you collect VAT from me, take it to somebody. The man will now sit down and say, I have 17 local governments in Abia. This other man that doesn't drink beer has how many local governments? Over 40 local governments. You give me share for 17. Then the man that didn't consume the beer will take more than me. I mean, it's hypocrisy. There's an advantage in my place. If you don't eat dog meat, don't use it to share it to children. Since you don't do, why would you take the resources that is coming from someone that is drinking those things? Likewise, other things. You mine, you extract oil from my backyard, send it to Abuja to share. Then you now sit somewhere and do all these things. So let's reduce this. Let states control their resources and meet their physical needs, their challenges, and then contribute a little. That is the principle of federalism. So I will not want to speak on this in isolation. I want to say, and I want to learn, let us restructure business to make it work. until that is done, I'm not sure that any agency is going to move forward. And I'm at the federal level.
So with the restructuring, you think development will definitely happen?
Definitely. I mean, I've just given you an instance, just a line item, name of that. You consume alcohol in a particular section of Nigeria. The other section, they don't consume alcohol. And they have more local government than you. Now, in the sharing formula, they will share according to the local government. And then it will change you that the geese that lays the golden egg. So it's not really. So then how will you compare? How would the development come? Because the government requires all these ones to do that.
Okay.
So I know those issues will be addressed properly. So I use that to answer the question on that. And I don't believe in all those. Let's control their resources and contribute a percentage to the center to run the federal infrastructure. Okay. I think that and the state will have the capacity.
But
the respective states, through their agencies, will have the capacity to monitor whatever project that, and the people can easily ask questions.
Okay, but how accessible is the NDDC to lawmakers from oil-producing regions?
Definitely, NDDC is like any other agency. They're under our supervision. Okay. All the ministries, we oversight them. We are the supervisors, so we supervise them and we do that. But like I said, I believe those powers should be developed, to the respective sub-nationals to handle. And not how many communities do we have? How many House of Reps members do we have? In a committee, it can't be more than 40 or take it at the 60.
Okay.
So the power of oversight, and you're oversighting about 96. So the challenge, another this thing will definitely come on how do you appropriately oversight. And most times the turnover of lawmakers are not that very consistent. Because like this one will go, the next one is either you move, you are not re-elected, or when you are elected, you are not, in that committee. And institutional memory is key to oversight.
Okay. All right.
So that is the very thing. So states having control over all these things and contributing to the center will solve not just NDDC problems, to solve developmental challenges we have